Hello, I'm Linda from Barlates Body Blitz, and here's little Minnie in her bucket bed. Today we're doing thighs on point. We're working all parts of our thighs and even a bit of side glute. I'm going to be wearing light ankle weights. You want to have somewhere between 1 and 1.5 kilos. So that's around 2 to 3 pounds. If you get to the really heavy mark, then you're going to have to slow down some of the exercises. And if you have no ankle weights at all, then you can still do this entire workout without any equipment. Or you might want to consider using a dumbbell and placing it on your thigh for some of the exercises where that is suitable. We're going to be doing 60-second rounds today, 60 seconds with no rest. So we're basically just going to keep going through. If you need a couple of reps to organize yourself at the beginning of a new section, then definitely just do that. And don't worry about it too much because 60 seconds is quite a long time. So you'll be able to get enough reps in. If there's ever an exercise that needs some modification, definitely take it. I'll try and cue you throughout. So we're going to be doing 40 rounds, which is a lot of thigh work, but I'm going to switch sides every 5 exercises so that we don't totally die, okay? So when we get started, we're going to start in a side lying position with our hips stacked, and we're going to do some traditional thigh raises with some variations. So get yourself into position, make sure your tummy's in, your hips are stacked, and all we're doing for the first 60 seconds is, come with me, is a raise. Making sure that your shoulder is aligned over your elbow, you are pulling your tummy in and you are pulling your rib cage away from the floor. So your hips are on top of each other, your knees to the front, and you are raising with the outer side of the hips and glutes. Now, this is a small motion, but I really want you to think lengthen away long as well as squeezing the entire side of your thighs. Up and down, up and down. Lengthening, pointing through the toe. Tummies are in, chest is tall. 17 seconds to go. So 60 seconds is a long time. We're really going to have to push through, especially as the workout progresses. Up and down. We're going to do a rainbow next, a little bit to the front and a little bit to the back, starting now. So tap in front, tap behind. It's not a huge rainbow, but I want you to lift and tap, lift and tap. We're not going to do any crazy combinations today because I really want you to get deep into that burn, that traditional Pilates bar burn that feels so good, getting that fire right in there from the very beginning. Now, if ever you find your shoulders strain in this position, you can come down here. But if you come down here, I want you to lift your leg a little bit higher because it does make it a bit easier. The other option you have is you can bend your bottom leg here as well, if that feels more comfortable and gives you a better stable base of support. Tap and tap. And if ever you need to take off the ankle weights, you can do that too because it is still really tough without it. Over and over. We're bringing our knee to our chest next and then extending on a diagonal back. So it's knee to chest, extend back. So I want you to slightly bring your chest forward here so that you're not just getting the outer thigh, but you're also getting a bit of the side glute. You're tapping and extending, but you're not resting your leg down like this, right? You're just tapping lightly and pushing back. I want a long extension to the back corner. Up. So you should be feeling your hips here as well. That's a bonus. Definitely feeling a lot of different muscle groups. And remember not to slouch in this shoulder. Deep breaths. Breathing really helps with the burn. And pushing into this front arm helps as well to keep you really stable. And back, and back. We're doing a similar move next, but we're going to push behind. So it's in front and then behind, low, in front and behind. So this time I want you to push back as far as you can. It doesn't have to be high. I just want you to push behind, behind. So you're on an angle towards the back. Keeping that leg just hovering above the bottom leg. This should really be starting to burn. There's a little bit of movement in your upper body here, and that's okay. Behind, in and squeeze. So this is getting the side of the glute again. Really point your toes and lengthen away long. All the way back. Keep going. The next one, we're going to keep our leg bent and we're going to bring it in front and just lift it like a hydrant. So bring it in front and just lift up, lift up. So you're not coming all the way up like this. You're really trying to keep the burn in the outer thigh here. So you're lifting up, tapping down the entire shin. So not just the knee, and then straight back up. So after this one, we're going to do those 5 exercises on the other side. So you're going to have to flip over really quickly in that long position with your hips stacked, and we're just going to raise the top leg exactly how we did on this side. So keep going. You've still got 22 seconds, so don't think about the next exercise too quickly. Up and squeeze. Are you squeezing your outer thigh? Pretend that there's something resisting here that you're squeezing up against. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Quickly change over, get into position and raise. Raise. So make sure, once again, hips are stacked. You're pushing out of this rib cage. Everything is aligned. Your shoulder is away from that ear. And you don't have to lift high. I just want you to point away really long. Holding that tummy in, stretching and strengthening at the same time. Up and up. Up and up. Simple stuff, lots of reps, big burn. Deep breaths. And remember your options. You can bend that bottom leg, or you can come down like this, and that will naturally make your leg go a bit higher. 5, 4. This engages the obliques as well, which is bonus. And 1. Now tap front, tap back. It's front and back. So you're not turning your knee up and down. You're leaving your kneecap facing to the front, and you're just doing a little tap in front and a little tap back. Doesn't have to be a really high arc because it's going to burn either way. Keep it down, kneecap to the front, tummies are in. Don't slouch. When you get tired, you're more likely to slouch in that shoulder. Breathe, breathe. Think happy thoughts. This is only the beginning, people. Only the beginning. Come on, a few more. Tap, tap. Really feeling this outer hip area in a big way. 6, 5. We're going to do that bend into the chest next. Bend into the chest and away. Into the chest and away. So it's diagonally to the back. Into the chest, tap. Tap down and push away. Tap down and push away. Engaging the outside of the glute medius. Push away. So it's not quite to the corner of the room. It's kind of at 45 degrees. Push away. I want you to lengthen as well as squeeze your glute and outer thigh here. So really point and lengthen as if someone's got your ankle and is pulling you away, and then you're resisting against it, bringing that knee down, just tapping, not resting. Pull away and extend. So you are going higher here with your ankle. The next one we're doing similar. We're coming in and then we're shooting back. In and shoot back. This time you're staying on the same horizontal plane. You're hovering above the other leg, and you don't even need to tap down for this one. You just bring it forward and then shoot it back. Shoot it back. I want it to be a bit more dynamic. So you're pressing all the way back taking a second to stretch and squeeze, squeezing your entire leg from the toe all the way up to your hips. Every part of your leg, you're squeezing the front of your thigh as well as the outer thigh, as well as the inner thigh, and a bit of glute. In and extend. Breathing. In and extend. All the way back. Come on. Next, we're bending that leg in front and lifting the shape of the leg. So come in front and lift the shape of the leg. And if by now your shoulder is really sore, come down here, but really focus on that squeeze at the top of the motion. Up, up. Lift the shape of that leg. We're moving to inner thighs next, so we're going to stay on this side, but we are all going to come down onto the elbow so that we don't hurt that shoulder by staying on it for too long. Up. The good thing about being in this position is that you get that bonus waistline work, which you kind of don't get when you're down lower. 15, 14. So you're stopping it. Remember, you're not coming all the way up. It's not like a clamshell exercise. You're stopping using your outer thigh. Okay, come down. And all you're doing is lifting the inner thigh. So now your leg is slightly to the front. Your back knee is up to the ceiling. And my chest is slightly turned open, but I'm trying to focus on lifting with this inner thigh by turning the heel up and the knee down. Okay, so that's the position I want your leg in order to get maximum burn in the inner thigh. Simple stuff, just raise it up. Raise it up. Up and up, just 20 more seconds in this position. Deep breaths. We've got our leg behind, but we will be putting it in front as well. So even if this is not the most comfortable position for you to be in, I want you to try, okay? Try to stay here. 1, now we're just gonna bend press in this position. It's almost like you're trying to join your ankles, tap and release. Keep the knee facing down, keep the heel facing up. Try and keep the entire thigh off the mat and stretch, stretch, then press. So this one has a bit of bonus quad work as well. So I want you to think about squeezing the front of the thigh as well as lifting from the inner thigh. Stretch. Tummies are in. Try to hold the rest of your body really stable. Keep going. 17 seconds. Then we're bringing this leg in front. And you can either put your whole knee down or just put your foot down, whatever's more comfortable. 5, 4, 2, 1. So put the leg in front however you want it and then just raise it. This should feel different, just having that position change. We have still got our heels slightly up, but it's not as far up. And I want you to focus on your inner thigh from the bottom leg coming and pressing up against the inner thigh of the top leg. Press up, up. So this should be starting to burn quite significantly now because we have done quite a few reps. We love that burn, so we're going to keep going. So here you're in a more stacked position. Your hips are more stacked on top of each other. Keep breathing. Up and up. 7. We're doing another bend press in this position. 2, 1. Keep it up and bend press, press. So keep your entire leg up. Even your thigh should be off the mat. Just your hip is on the mat. And you're lengthening. I want the emphasis on the press away. Press away. Press. Press. It's a tiny bend and a big extend. Bend, press. Really try and keep it high. I know it burns, but when you burn and you keep going, it's when you're changing the shape of your muscles, okay? So take a deep breath and knuckle through it. Press, press. Come on. You can do it. We're up on our elbow next to finish off inner thighs, and our front leg's going back to the back. 4, 3, 2, 1, come up, and it's the same thing we just did, but we're going to do an arc to the front, to the back, to the front, to the back. Lift and lift, lift and lift. So this should feel a little bit easier. So I really need you to focus here, focus on lengthening away, focus on trying to turn that knee down. I know it really doesn't want to anymore because it's burning pretty badly. Arc and arc. The higher, the harder. We're going to turn over to the other side and do inner thighs again on the other side. Up and up. Come on. This is the last bit for inner thighs, so really go for it. Really grit your teeth. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Quickly turn it over. Leg to the back and raise. You can come down here. I was up on my elbow. It's okay to be up on your elbow if it's not bothering your shoulder at all. I just really want you to focus on turning the knee down and the heel up as much as possible. You are slightly on a diagonal here, so it's not directly in line. I want you to have that stable base of support so that you can really focus on the lift. Okay, that's what the most important thing is. Sort out the rest of your body in a position that's comfortable for you to really focus on this burn. This is where we're working. Okay, that's the most important part. Deep breaths. We're bend pressing next. So bend, press, bend, press. See how I've got a gap underneath my thigh? That's where I want you to be. Bend, press, heel to the ceiling, knee to the floor, or as closely as you can get it. I know it's not going to be completely turned, but try. And squeeze. Squeeze and stretch. Remember that whole analogy of someone pulling at your ankle? That's where you want to be on the extend. Tiny bend, big extend. Squeeze the front of your thigh as well. May as well get some extra quad work in. So that back leg is coming to the front next. Continuing the inner thigh torture. 10, 9. And remember, if you do need to take a micro break, do so and come back as soon as you can. 3, 2, 1. Other leg in front and just raise. So you can have your leg however you really want. If you want it here, some people have it all the way in there. I don't know how they do that because my hip just doesn't like that position at all. You can have it all the way down. You could even get a Pilates ball or a cushion and place it underneath your knee. This front leg is not what's important. What is important is that you're raising this back leg high enough to really feel the burn in that inner thigh. Deep breaths. So you're still trying to turn the heel up, but in this position it's a lot more awkward. So really I just want you to focus on lengthening and lifting. Up and up. We're bend pressing again next. Nothing complicated here. Nowhere to hide. 3, 2, 1, and bend press. Bend press. Bend press. That burn is real. I hope you're feeling on fire like I am. Come on, just lengthen, lengthen. Keep your leg up. I don't want to see legs drop down on the carpet and just kind of like this. Okay, no. You've committed to this. You want your thighs to be on point, and this is the way it's gonna happen. You gotta work through the burn. Stick it out with me, I'm doing it with you, right? I know exactly how it feels. I'm not one of those instructors that just tells you what to do and doesn't do it myself. I'm in the burn. And if I make it look easy, it's because I'm pretending. I'm dying on the inside, don't worry. 9, 8, 7, 6. We're up on our elbow next. 4, 3, 2, 1. Up on your elbow, little arcs, little arcs. So once again, kneecap to the bottom, heel to the top. I don't know why this side actually feels harder for me. Maybe because it's my weaker side. Up and up, up and up. It's a tiny arc. Keep going, don't slouch. It's easy to slouch because this is the last bit. We're gonna sit up next with our legs in front of us and do some quad work. So that'll be a nice change. Working this leg, obviously, because we don't want to keep working the same leg, otherwise it might fall off. Grandpa used to ask why I'm single with such a pretty face. And 1, okay, onto your forearm or onto your arms and just start raising that leg. Okay, I'm going to show you a few different positions because some people really find this tough on their hip flexors. So you can come further down and just rest on your forearms like this. That will engage your lower abs a bit more, but we will take a bit of hip flexor action out of it. Otherwise, just stay up here. I want you to try and use your core as much as possible here. So instead of really dumping into your arms, hold your belly in, and maybe you want to try taking your hands off for a few. Why not, you know? Or even just keep your arms closer by your hips. You can keep them back here and just press into them a little bit, but I want you to try and use your core as much as possible to stay upright. We're bend pressing, but we're going to flex our foot in 3, in 2, in 1. Bend press, flexed foot. So I want you to think, push down slightly and away. Down slightly and away. This is tough. If you're finding it just way too tough, you can really take the intensity out by allowing your foot to slide across the floor. But I want you to try and keep it up, kneecap to the ceiling, and really think about squeezing the top of your thigh. This burns like crazy. You can come down here, remember, it really changes the angle and it takes some of the intensity out. Come on. We're gonna flick our leg. So touching the toe, flicking up next. 1, so come down here and flick up, up, up. So your leg is much more at a 90-degree angle. You're tapping down and flicking up. Killer, right? I don't know what it is about quads, but for me, quad work is the most killer. Now, if you want to flick kind of further forward like this and not so much up, it's going to be a bit easier, but it's still going to be painful no matter what you do. Okay, so try. Maybe come down here for a few. Take a deep breath, and when you're ready, come back up and stay in that burn with me. Don't hunch your shoulders either. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. We're going to straighten our leg again, and we're going to go out and in and tap. 3, 2, 1. So go out, in, and tap. Up, out, in, and tap. Up, out, in, and tap. Okay. Focus. Concentrate. Up, out, in, and tap. You don't have to go far if you just want to do a little one. out, in and tap. If you're finding this too much, then maybe just tap and tap, tap and tap. That's an option. Up, out, in and tap. Oh my goodness, my leg feels like a ton at the moment. Up, out, in and tap. You can do it, I promise you can. We're bend extending again, but on an angle. So bend, extend, and then in front. So it's out and in front. And by allowing you to turn your kneecap to the front, I'm giving you a break. This is a break because you're using inner thigh a bit more than quad on the out. Crazy how much it burns, especially with those ankle weights. And remember, you can be down here. Keep it smaller. Out and up. We're moving on to the other leg after this. Come on, you can do it. Let's not stop. Let's not stop when it gets tough. 18, 17. Breathe. Close your eyes if you need to. Grit your teeth if you need to. Maybe do a few sliding on the ground if you need to. 3, 2, and 1. Oh my gosh. Just raise it. Point and raise. Point and raise. Maybe roll out your shoulders a bit if you're finding that it's getting a little bit sore. Point and raise. Tummies are in. Lengthen the way long with those toes. Try to do whatever you did on the other side, okay? So if you stayed up for the entire time, stay up. If you came down here for a few exercises to give yourself a tiny break, then do that. But don't phone it in on this side. Don't make it easier because you know what's coming. Bend, extend with a flexed foot next. Bend, extend. Now you can slide across the floor. That's a lot easier. Bend, extend. Bend, extend. Try and think about pushing a heavy cement block away from you. Maybe some down here, if your hip flexor is really feeling it, or you just want to break like me. Bend, extend. Doing those flicks next. Flick, flick, flick. I don't know if it's any easier. 10, 9, 8, 7. Breathe. 2, 1. Okay. Flick it up. Flick it up. Squeeze that leg. Remember, you can kind of flick more to the front or flick down here. Flick, flick, flick. You can do it. I believe in you. Up and up. Keep breathing. Up and up. Starting not to talk too much because this is really, really murder. 7, 6. We're going to do that out, in, and tap. 1, 2, 1. So it's out, in, tap, down. Lift, out, tap. Tap, raise, out, in. Tap, raise, out, in. Keep that leg long. If you need to draw it across the floor like this, You can do a few like that maybe, and then come back to it, but you're better off coming down here. This really takes the hip flexor out. It makes a big difference. Focus. Grit your teeth. If you did it on the other side, you know you can survive on this side, right? Don't slouch. Tummies are in. Up and out. Up and out. We're doing the bend extend to the corner. So one to the front, one to the side. The side one, you get to turn your knee to the side. Makes it easier, right? We're going to be in like a all fours position next, but with our back elbow down. And we're going to be working this front leg again. "30 seconds. Can you believe it? 30 seconds has never sounded so long. Come on. We're nearly done with this quad situation. For me, this quad one has been the worst by far. Especially on this leg, because this is not my dominant leg. Okay, we're going to be in that all fours position. I'm going to quickly change so you can see what I mean. And raise the leg. So your elbow's down and your leg is in line with your hip. And you're raising it with your kneecap to the front. Raise it up and tap. Up and tap. Try and keep your neck nice and long. You're pushing into this front arm. It will really help you to keep your body nice and still and aligned as you are raising. Raising that entire leg all the way to the side. This side position is a lot harder than if you're just raising to the back. So that's why we like to do it. We like to do hard things, right? 5, 4. We're going to do a hydrant with an extension next. So we're going to come in, out, and extend. Bend, extend, bend, and down. Up, extend, and down. So a bit more movement now, but it still feels quite intense, and we're hitting that outer thigh and glute medius, this side here, hard again. So you're welcome going into those same muscle groups over and over. Out, out, up and out. Job. All the way up. Breathe through it. We're keeping our leg up, and we're going to do an extension to the front and then open to the back. So it's going to be up and back, forward and back. Now that back is kind of diagonal back. Now if you feel better being up here, you can do that, up to you. Forward extend, back extend. Forward extend, back extend. We're on our side again next, and we're going to do clamshell. So your upper body will get a rest. Forward extend, back extend. Try to keep your leg up. It wants to drop. Those ankle weights are feeling heavier than ever. We're not letting it drop. Forward and back. Ready? 5 seconds and we're down on our side. In clamshell, your bottom shin is going to be lifted. Ready? Up to the ceiling. Up to the ceiling. Your toes are connected and you're pivoting that knee all the way up. All the way up. Intense outer thigh and outer glute work here, as well as some hip. And that bottom leg is feeling it too, right? Really squeeze as high as you can with that knee. We're doing knee toe next, and then we're on to the other side. And that will then be our last 5 exercises. Once we complete this one, then the knee toe, and then 5 on the other side, and we're done. See how quick this is? Up, squeeze it, up. Finish each rep. 2 and 1. Leg at 90, knee toe. Knee and toe, knee and toe, knee and toe. Tummies are in, hips are stacked. Breathe. Just let it burn. Just think to yourself, it's all lactic acid just building up, and as soon as you stop, it's all going to go away. So it's really only painful for a very short amount of time. In fact, only 30 more seconds. That pain will go in 30 seconds. So just say to yourself, body, you're going to keep going for 23 more seconds, and then you're going to be fine. You can do it. I believe in you. Keep going. We're on the other side after this. In that all fours position, leg extended to the front, doing raises in line with the hip. Down on the back elbow. 2 and 1. So down on the back elbow, leg in front, raise it up. Tap and raise. Tap and raise. Tap and raise. Make sure that you're really nicely aligned here. Your elbows under your shoulder. If you prefer to be up, you can. It's harder though, I'm telling you. I wouldn't be torturing myself any more than I already am if I was you. Tap and long legs. That back leg, the supporting leg, is going to feel it. There's kind of no way around it. Raise it up. Kneecap to the front, remember. Don't let it turn up to the ceiling. Hydrant extension next. 2 and 1. So it's come in, up, extend, and back down. And down. A bit more dynamic here. Extend and down. Really push into the front hand. I promise you it helps. It takes some of that pain out of the back thigh. 30 seconds. This is great upper body work as well and core engagement. You're getting a lot of extra bonus work. You're welcome. We're going to keep that leg up, remember. Extend to the front and extend to the back. Next, in 5 seconds. 1, so we're extending to the front, extend to the back, extend to the front, extend to the back. Extend. Squeeze your glute at the back there. May as well. Front and back. Front and back. Try and keep your leg up. Try and keep your foot in line with your knee. Don't let it kind of drop down like this. You can let your leg go up higher at the back though, but at the front, just keep it parallel to the ground. You don't have to be a superhero. Go, go. Keep going. We're on our side after this with clamshell. We know that one's easier than this one. So tell your body you must keep going for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shin up and down and up. Down and up. If you want to be down here, be my guest. That feels much better on that upper body. Give it a bit of a rest. Down and up. But if you want that extra oblique work, you can definitely stay up here for a little bit longer. Up, up. Really focus on that push back. It should actually be shaking a little bit now. Mine's shaking. Your toes are joined together. Push up, push up. Really squeeze. Knee toe next. That will be our last exercise. And then you'll be very sad it's over. Ready? Knee and toe, knee and toe. You're at 90 degrees with those knees and toe, knee and toe. Really turn your foot up, knee up, foot up, knee up. I want you to exaggerate this motion. Come on, this is your last exercise. Give me everything you've got left. Empty your fuel tanks. Breathe, breathe, 30 seconds. Come on, you can do this. Keep going with me. Let's finish this together. You know that my thigh workouts are tough. If you finish this, you've got something to be proud of for the whole rest of the day. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Done. Ouch. That burns a lot, but that's okay. We have just created some new muscle memory. So next time you do this workout, it might feel a little bit easier. Maybe, I'm not promising anything. So let's come down and stretch. I want you to bring your heel towards your glute and push your hip forward. Deep breath in. Oh, that feels good. And then let's just lay down on our backs. Hamstring stretch. Bring that in. Bend, extend here a little bit. And then figure 4, bringing that foot on the opposite knee, and then push away with your hand on that knee. This always feels beautifully, deliciously murderous to me, because my hips and thighs and glutes are always sore because I work them way too much. No mercy. And then just bring that knee across and stretch through your spine. And then open your hip out to the side. Just let that relax. Deep breaths. And then just bring that other leg in. Extend through that hamstring. It doesn't have to come in close. I just want it to stay straight. And extend a little bit. And then cross that over. Push away a little bit on that knee. And then bring that knee across and look in the opposite direction. And open it out to the side. Just let everything drop open. And then just roll up, and we're going to do the other side by pressing your heel towards your glute and pushing your hip forward. And then just sit up and do a straddle stretch. Just come down to your low point, stretching your inner thighs, wiggle your knees a little bit. And then just come into a cross-legged position, lean forward again, and then walk your hands away from the side where your leg is in front. And switch it up, and then walk your hands the other direction. And then just rotate through the spine. Roll your shoulders. Maybe reach up overhead, go side to side a little bit. And that is it. Thanks so much for joining me for Thighs on Point. I hope you felt that burn as much as I did, and I look forward to seeing you at the next workout. Bye for now.